Are we live?
Damn you tell me.
Yes, I think we are. We are. StreamYard's been delayed. We start, and then you wait, and then all of a sudden you're picking your nose, and like 14 is on the clock. You're like, oh, crap. Seren Petro's back. We welcome him back. We had tech issues with my stupid internet 2 weeks ago. And then last week we did a podcast, but Seren was in the deep, dark bowels of somewhere. I don't even know if he indicates what his vacation spots are, so we'll allow him to reveal that inside info if he wants to. I don't out people on.
No, very high. Yeah, very secretive, exotic locations. I can't wait to tell people about the exotic places I travel to.
I also, while on the road, will tweet a couple of photos, but try not to reveal where I am, just in case there's Cofield and Company fans in that town, because I want my peace and quiet. I don't want to get rushed.
Right.
I'm on the road, so I don't even know if listener Brady from Vegas is in. Yeah, there he is right there. Says, look what the cat drug in. Yeah, Brady was trying to guess at one of my photos that I sent out, and I did not answer because he was right. So, good guess. I don't know how you got it, but he got it. So. Oh, shit. Did it actually say Delmar on the sign in the background? I didn't notice that.
You're a clown.
Well, I was so fixated on the picture I took. It was a brilliant picture of some horse's ass couple that came up to a bar, in this case, a brewer's deck, and the woman is pushing a baby carriage with like 3 mini dogs in it. And I simply tweeted out, this ain't my normal stomping grounds. Like, I don't hang around doggy and, baby carriage people.
No.
But I was. And apparently it said Delmar on the background. So you got me.
Where in California is Delmar?
Where? Just north of San Diego.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
It is, we had a friend up there, and it was another one of those confirmations. You go on the road, you visit a friend, and you're like, wow, I haven't done that well. This is pretty nice here. This is real nice.
You're visiting a friend anywhere around San Diego, they've done better than you.
That's the thing.
Note to self.
Unless it was on, I think, G Street, where if one of my friends was homeless, I'd be like, okay, I've beaten you, because there were a lot of homeless in San Diego. But
did you get clear to El Cajon? Then, maybe the odds start evening out, as I understand it. I don't know well enough, but I remember I was thinking that was where it starts to be like, we're a ways from the ocean now.
You know what's funny? It's not terrible, and it's still like $500,000 to live in a shack there.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of relative. Papi El Guapo, of course. If you see me, it's cool to approach. I will say one thing. We were just about at the end of the show today, and I felt really bad because I was listening to Adam Candy. Actually wasn't at the Orleans. We're at the Orleans tonight. We're doing a broadcast leading into the Vegas Golden Knights game. We'll get to the Knights and their 3-2 loss. But a guy came like charging up to the table, and I'm sitting there listening. And a lot of times listeners can't tell that you're on the air, but I'm listening to someone down the line, and he was like all fired up talking to me, and then remote text / henchman Angel was like, he's on the air right now. And then the guy waited like 1 minute and got frustrated. It was like 5:57. I'm off in like 2 minutes. And I should have been like, no, wait. But then he walked off, and then he was gone. That was it. So I'm sure his memory is Cofield's an a-hole.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, then good. His is the same as mine.
No. God damn it.
Mine's for different reasons. Like your inability to be at dinner on time, your need to sleep all day.
Yeah. Not true, but yeah, I guess.
No. On like guys' trips, no. You're the king of. Yeah, I'm gonna go sleep for a little while.
I'm more chill. I told you the last.
No. Chill is like, oh, he's over there just having a couple of drinks. You're sleeping.
Oh, I love sleeping. It's a vacation.
Yeah.
My new approach when I do go to Kansas City is I am high as a kite almost the entire time.
Yeah, that's a good plan. My kids appreciate it.
I know. Well, I'm not shooting heroin at your house. I mean, I'm not freaking high enough.
As far as I know. Dad, why Steve's door locked?
Well,
I just need to go in and get my dance shoes, and he's not responding.
I will tell you
this gurgling sound. What's going on?
Exactly. Daddy, he's foaming at the mouth. kids run in with the freaking adrenaline needle. It's Pulp Fiction all over again.
Exactly.
All right, all's good. Uncle Steve OD'd again, but we saved him. It's a life lesson for the kids.
They're good kids. They're good kids.
And I agree. Sleeping is the ultimate vacation.
Sure. Is that what you did the whole vacation?
UNLV game. And he just left me alone. I mean, it happens. Yeah, this is not good in Petro's house. This has never happened. The door is locked and the internet is just it's to a crawl. And then I leave and you're like, God damn, man, we got viruses everywhere now. Right.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Yeah, I like that.
Cofield comes home.
Spoons.
Suddenly can't find any of his spoons. Yes. As everyone knows, noted heroin junkie.
And where are all our, what do you call them? Tension bands, your exercise. Where the hell, where are our spoons and our tension bands? Sorry, Cofield's tying off in there.
Nice job. A lot of good drug jokes for the Midwest audience.
It's a pretty good knowledge of the.
It seems to me like it's all the Vegas people chiming in too. That's a little scary.
Cam's Casey guy though.
Oh, okay, there you go. Good job, Cam. You're well rounded. You probably were a drug addict at some point, or you read, or you saw a documentary.
Yeah,
saw a documentary. So I tweeted out a picture a little while ago. I should punch it up here, but man, another rough night for the Golden Knights. I mean, this has been a grind these 4 years. This has been a grind.
You're such an ass.
It's tons of fun. Knights fans would like to win a Stanley Cup. I'd like to see them win a Stanley Cup. But tonight wasn't the night. They didn't get the job done. They lost 3-2.
They did not get to hoist the cup tonight. Lord Stanley will have to wait. He'll have to wait. Brilliant. Yeah.
Going to have to wait, but they lose 3-2. They play like ass in the first. We'll get some reaction from our Vegas listeners. I did not know this. Is Independence well known for its meth?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I just drove through the meth capital, which is pretty much all of Central California. So you start down at Victorville and go north, and like every city has a methy reputation.
Yeah, Independence is known for it's like they're a bit. It's probably overplayed. I would think that I've seen Breaking Bad. It seems to be the Southwest where things are going on. Albuquerque and West, right? Like there's a mobile home outside Albuquerque.
I always hear about Belton. Is it that bad? You guys are always taking shots at Belton. Is that just good-natured ribbing for friends?
Not for meth. You don't hear about Belton for meth.
It's kind of trashy, no? Or is it just that it's far away?
Did you see? Is Rob up there? Is that why you're taking these shots?
No. I didn't know. I just remember Belton always getting bagged on.
Jason up there? Is that why you're taking these shots? A couple of Belton guys? No, there's nothing wrong with Belton. It's just a little further out of town.
Yeah.
Tends to be a little more, much more likely to spend your Friday night at a dirt track if you're in Belton.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
Here is the that's rough. There's the anguish of the VGK fan.
There it is. We didn't sweep it tonight. Thought we were going to close it out tonight in game 2.
4 years in, conference finals in 3 or 4 years, only one Stanley Cup final. What the frig? Come on, Knights. Come on, Knights. That is it's actually not a bad looking fat Justin Watkins clone.
I guess you're in a position where you can call that man fat. I'm certainly not going to do it.
Well, it's basically you and I. By the way, you missed a good story. Justin's been like super fan. He was one of the first, I forget it was called the original 100 of people who really started supporting the Golden Knights with the season ticket packages to get the NHL's attention and get to a certain threshold. So Justin's our attorney on the show, and he does a podcast tomorrow night for the KC folks. And Justin has season tickets. He's been traveling to go to a lot of the games. He was at the last game in Colorado, and he actually had a little physical tussle.
Really?
Very little, but the Knights
had a very little tussle.
The Knights had an amazing goal. I'm recalling this correctly, right? Vegas people. Mark Stone in overtime, breaks out and scores like 50 seconds into the overtime. Knights win. Well, he stands up as Stone is like chugging down the ice, and the woman behind him, an Avs fan, grabs his shoulders and tries to pull him down. And then he finds out later, apparently, the fan rule there is you don't stand during the game until after a goal. And all of us down here are like, what? Who came up with that poppycock?
That's interesting.
But grabbed his shoulders.
And what did he do?
He said by the time he turned around, because he was euphoric, they won the game. He celebrated. By the time he turned around, they were gone.
Did he yell, "Oh, my neck! I'm going to sue.
Like,
I'm an attorney. You're in trouble.
You grabbed the wrong person." Right?
Oi. I like it.
I know. You know, Joe, it's not going to go well for
Did he turn around and go Knights in 4? Knights in 4.
You know what? Can you explain that
a couple of times? Knights in 4.
I don't know why. That's one of those stories I never caught up on, and Ari keeps sending it in our rundown notes. I don't even know what Sons and 4 guy was or did. Did he smoke someone?
Oh, so you really never saw it?
I never saw
way more Captain Twitter than I am.
I know. I just never. You know what,
You're
dude?
way more like what's the hot buzz story than I am.
For this one, I have not been on top of it. The Knights have been like so much of our show, and we've been inundated with Knight stuff. It's one of those that just slipped through. I'll be honest. Adam Hill hasn't done the show for like 2 weeks, so he would have been like that's his cup of tea.
All right, I agree with Brady. Like, pull the video. Just Google right now, Sons and 4 guy. Click video, and it'll come up, and it's going to be like 20 seconds, 25 seconds. And let's let everybody, because I guarantee you everybody else has seen it. Let's let everybody else watch your reaction as you see this masterpiece. Like, when you think of kicking ass, like, or just like it, old school movie style, like, okay, how do you, not only win, but do it with style? This is it. I really would like to see. If you really haven't seen it.
I have a very small shot of it here. Hold on. I think.
Can you get it on the screen?
Is there a guy in a Jamal Murray jersey?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Starts with Nuggets. There's Nuggets jerseys, and then Sons and 4 guy appears. Can you bring it up?
Sorry, I suck. I should have pulled this earlier if I had known we were talking about it. It's like I said, it's very small. Sorry.
You can't enlarge that? Click on the video.
Let's see.
You don't have to do it on Twitter. Like, go click on the site. Yeah, there you go.
You got there.
Get there. Yeah. How about that? What is that?
My Commodore 64.
0.01 meg you got there at the house with the Wi-Fi?
This is why I don't run video on the show, because it's slow, man. StreamYard jams everything.
Yeah. Okay, now just take it in. Will it actually run, or are we going to buffer? This isn't the best angle, but this will give you the gist, I think. These two guys are talking shit to a guy in front of him in a Suns jersey. There he is. That's the worst angle, but.
Whoop that ass, bro! Whoop that ass!
There's such a better view. That's he kind of settles down. Now watch. Now here comes Sucker Punch from Nuggets guy. There it is.
Oh, man.
Get that ass!
This is actually a terrible angle, but so he gets him like hockey jersey style.
And he can't get up.
He's popping him from underneath.
Shit to his friend. Look at that.
Every shit. And then he smacks the friend too.
How about Jamal Murray not doing anything?
Yo, that's what you get, boy. Oh, he wants to get more. He wants to get more.
Yeah, that's it. There are better videos out there. That's from further away. There's one that's right on top of it.
Yeah.
And you see the guy, and he's got him pinned down, and he's working him over, and then he sits there and he starts talking to his buddy, and then he smacks him. And pops this guy again, talks some shit to this guy again, pops him again, and then at the end they're finally leaving. He's like, Sons and 4. Sons and 4. That's like the finishing insult.
Oh my God.
And then of course he delivered the goods. There are better angles. You have to find it.
I'll find one eventually.
Yeah, the guy sucker punches him. And then the guy just whips ass.
Get him.
Christ, it's the same bad angle as someone doing play-by-play on this one. All right, I get the point.
Okay. Yeah, so
wow.
Did go back to our original point, did Justin turn around, grab this gal's shirt, pull it halfway over her head, start beating her with uppercuts, and then turn to her husband and say, "Knights and four, knights and four, knights and four." Did that happen?
I don't think Justin would do that.
He didn't? Okay. All right. Well, I guess Sons and Four guy remains the heavyweight champ.
Do we need to punch up another video to satisfy you animals?
I mean, if you get the better angle, it is a much better video. It is because there's one that is like centered up on the Suns. You got to put it up because it's significantly better. He's like called like the Scottsdale Superman or something. They've got all kinds of names for him.
This one looks even worse.
Like you have to be the only guy on earth that can't find the premium video of this. It was freaking everywhere. Now this is bad.
Shit runs slower on StreamYard. I'm telling you. We've been through this. TMZ sucks balls. You got to grab the video beforehand.
There's a way better. I wonder if I can just grab my computer.
Not bad.
Yeah, the sucker punch comes. One of these Nuggets guys. There's the sucker punch. Pulls him down, gets a hold of him. Watch, he works him. Right there, he's working him over. Now watch. He's got a hold of him still down. He's talking shit to the friend. And watch, gives him another pop. Here's one for good measure.
Sons and Four.
Look at him. Still got him. Wait a minute. Look, still got him. Sons and Four. How great is that?
Be careful who you mess with, man. That guy has fought before. He has been in a bar fight.
I think he might have been a hockey player. The way he went immediately for the shirt and hold the guy. Like he literally was just holding him down like it was his little brother while he talked shit to others.
Oh, that's right. I did see this part. Devin Booker was looking for him on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man. Bad move. Tried to do the look away and then punch at him and didn't even come close.
Yeah. And then take the ass kicking. Like, could you at least try to get away? Oh, he's got my shirt. I guess that's it. I'll just take my punishment. Like, holy cow. How many times has the guy on the high ground got his ass handed to him?
That too.
Like, you've got a distinct advantage when you're throwing punches from up top. Yeah, I love that one. And it was in Denver, by the way.
Yep.
And there was no, like, I love the, like, oh, the whole arena is going to kick your ass if you start with me. No, they're not. No, they're not.
I don't think I've ever seen Devin Booker hate. He's relevant enough that people hate Devin Booker? Donovan says, ultimate fake tough guy, not surprised.
I haven't seen him be fake or real tough guy, so I couldn't comment.
I don't know if he can fight or if he's a badass or he's not.
I would assume he's not a badass, but I'm not saying he's a puss. I should have gone low with the return punch. I like that.
I mean, if he had, who knows? Maybe the guy starts freaking going Muay Thai style, and kneeing him in the face, doing fucking Anderson Silva. By the way, that's me kneeing someone in the face while sitting down. That's the most exercise I've gotten all day long.
That is the highlight of my day. Can you do that again?
That was
so happy.
I shredded my core, which doesn't really exist.
Just a bobbing and weaving, priceless.
Yep.
So is it over? Is the dream over for the Knights?
No, not at all. They'll win the series. They'll win 4-1.
Okay. Cofield. Guarantee? Is this like the Barkley guarantee right here?
No. And I won't bet it that way. Of course not. It is interesting. I want your take on this as a guy who likes to gamble, because Adam Candy was on with me today, one of my co-hosts, and he's into gambling because he covers gambling. He writes for a site called LegalSportsReport.com. And, a lot of us, like 3-4 years ago, right before gambling was legalized,
How was dinner, by the way, since you seem to be enjoying it here again and again?
Actually, I didn't eat anything. This is my belching from my sort of
Moscow Mule.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, we found out hockey. I don't know if you guys follow hockey enough, but hockey is like the king of. We're not going to tell you about injuries. It's like the anti-NFL. NFL, we know about all the injuries. And why do we know about all the injuries, Petro? What's one of the big reasons?
Well, gambling.
Exactly. So the NHL is like embraced gambling as much as any league, any big league in the world, right? They've got multiple partners. They've got gambling signage all over their rinks. They've got, exclusive deals with BetMGM as a content provider, and they will not reveal who is playing, who's not playing. Here in Vegas, Max Pacioretty was out for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he was day to day for all of those weeks. So tonight we find out before the game, one of the first line players for the Knights, Chandler Stevenson, out, right? Like 13 minutes before the game. Then we find out the second leading scorer for the Canadians who missed game one, Jeff Petrie, in. We're like, this is nuts. How do you gamble on this?
Yeah, it does make it very difficult, and it's something that they got to get. Listen, they have all the medical laws that are out there, which are there for good reason, but it's something that just needs to be collectively bargained, right? Like the owners, if they want to maximize the return on gambling, need to say, listen, we understand, that what's the HIPAA laws apply. But we need you to waive the HIPAA laws to keep paying you because the gambling sponsorships are giant. So do you want the cap to go up? Then you've got to waive your HIPAA laws so we can give detailed injury information to maximize the amount of bets that are coming in, because people are like, I don't know what's going on with this guy. I'm not betting the game.
Here's the thing. We're talking nuanced thinking. I'm not going to pat us on the back here, but we are talking people who pay attention. I think where we're going with most sports books is they don't care about sharps. They don't care about big action. They're just building volume. And if they get grunts to bet, the grunts aren't going to get pissed because they don't know any better.
But do the grunts really, is their take really based upon the $50 player? The $25 player? Like, really, the people who don't care about the injury, are they really I think they're knee deep in having to deal with the analytics. Like they got to take action.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to know what percentage are true sharps, what percentage are Sharpie, right? Their analytics, they've got numbers, they've got history, they've got experience. What percentage are some people that are like, yeah, I do it on a regular basis. I only lose what I can afford to lose, but I'm in there every night firing away. And what are oh, let's give this a try, Martha.
Right. I don't know. We'd have to get the breakdown. I'll make the argument that, Stevenson out, Petrie in isn't going to move the line 40 cents either. So I will say I did when I saw because here's what happened with Petrie and who said it nicely. Brady says, I didn't see the Canadians tweet it out, but I saw, some pretty connected media people say that Petrie was out. So Montreal tweeted he was out, kept him off the line rushes, which they did, and then put him in 2 minutes before the game. He's their second leading goal scorer and, I don't know, a top 15, top 10 defender in all the NHL. When I saw it, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to fire on Montreal. So I got Montreal at 235, which I rarely get dogs in the right spots. And then as I was driving home, I pulled over to make another bet. When the Knights were down 3-1, with 6 minutes left, I was like, let me back up this bet a little bit. Let me see what the Knights are. They were 12-1 to win, down 3-1. So I fired on that. So whatever. This is not some giant pat on the back. It's not like I bet a ton of money, but I just think it does make the sport harder to bet on when you don't know if they're going to sneak in guys at the last minute. It's not, whatever, name it, freaking key cornerback or number one wide receiver or number one running back. And you find out 7 minutes before the game that he's in. I mean, the NFL would never do that.
I mean, I don't know.
Rarely do it. They do play with doubtful and questionable.
Generally not 4 minutes before the game. But what is it, 90 minutes or 70 minutes where the inactives come out?
I mean, that's it's 90 minutes.
I know. I'm saying it's not 4 minutes, but it's you're not on a Thursday. You don't get a, rock and fire. So that's what I say to the casual fan. How many casual fans are sitting by their computer in the last 60 minutes?
They're not. Yeah, so
I don't think that's casual fans that are casual fans are getting the same thing out of the NFL. Casual bettors.
So bottom line, in a lot of ways, us talking about it on a sports talk radio show is almost moronic. So what's the point?
No, they fear us. I mean, they really
I
fear
just
what
mean-
we say.
It's probably not a relevant topic to 98% of the audience.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And it's definitely a media person topic because people who cover hockey feel like they're on the outside, feel like they're not getting the information they should, and it's all sneaky.
No.
And it's just it's for them and
I disagree because the injuries matter for fantasy football, which is a vast majority of people. They matter for suicide pools, right? They matter for our church manages a I don't know what it is, like a little lottery thing on the games. You put in a couple of bucks, raises money for the Knights of Columbus and everything. So like it matters for that. There are things that the casual fan, like the casual gambling, like not in the casino, just a couple of bucks here and there. It matters, but it pisses fans off. But they're not. Listen, football is an addiction, and they're not going to run people off, right? Like no matter how many, it's going to be pretty hard to screw up the NFL. I mean, I think its day will come because every one of the most popular sports is ultimately, lost ground. Boxing, horse racing, and baseball ruled the day at one point. And they're nowhere near the top anymore.
Brady says the church is running a gambling pool. Sister Jean is an effing bookie.
It's like
by the way,
I don't know. They always hit me up. You get this many cards for this much and this much.
Yes,
if you go 100 or whatever, and
churches are their churches. I mean, I don't know. Catholic churches are like the original bookies.
Yeah.
They've been running 50-50 and bingo. I mean, every basement in the country in the 60s and 70s and probably 50s.
It's not gambling, Steve. It's a fundraiser.
Freaking bingo game and gambling on pancakes for breakfast and everything else.
Right. How long is the sermon? Right, the homily. Sorry. Getting my old roots to my new roots. The homily. How long?
Right. Come on.
Are they going to have enough, hosts, or is somebody going to have to go back up and fetch some more? Who can count? Who can't count?
Yep.
Plenty to how many people are actually going to go for the wine?
Well, I don't even. What is the tithing number now? Isn't it 10%? Like the big, right? What's
Sure.
the tithing number?
Sure. If that makes you feel better, that makes the people that are Catholic feel better. It makes it think that I'm throwing around 10%. And those that are anti-Catholic, sure. They're giving up 10%. Let's call it 10.
There you go. NKC Chief. My Catholic school had a drunken casino night every year. Biggest money maker in the school.
There is no lack of alcohol at any Catholic function. That is a fact. I was at a Catholic school function last night, and they took a break so that everybody could get another drink.
Is this actually in the Montreal version of the Bible?
Yeah, that is. There it is. Good call, Brady. Yeah, I like that.
That was good.
There's definitely no shortage of beverage at a Catholic event. I was at a trivia night, and there may or may not have been upside-down keg stands going on.
Really?
100%, yes.
That's amazing.
One of the last events I attended before the pandemic.
Oh, my God.
I turned around and I'm like, that's happening, right?
Yep.
I'm like, there's the priest. There's that. Okay.
You should have known that was a sign of the apocalypse.
Yeah, there it is. That the pandemic happened because the upside down keg stand was allowed to happen at a church event.
There you go.
And you know what was said was like at my table, good Lord, the young parents are a mess. These were the young kid parents. The older kid parents like us, man,
I don't know.
first of all, we can handle our booze.
All right. We can go to sticky stuff in baseball. We can go to hot button political topic around the NFL.
Ooh.
Well, I think deep down it is political in many ways. So you pick, because you're a big baseball guy. Do you want to go with the sticky stuff first?
I
want to go with NFL vaccine rules.
Listen, I think we're swimming in topics, because there's also a guy who's never won a championship, and winning a championship, players would do anything to make sure they win a championship. That's on the sidelines with COVID in the NBA too. Like, you can get to that one as well.
Go ahead, fire. What do you think on Chris Paul?
Well, I mean, listen, and it kind of dovetails into the protocols of the NFL putting out there and baseball, right, where they're basically now outing the ones that aren't vaccinated.
Tell people what happened, because I saw this a little later, well after my show, that baseball's altering some rules with mask on and off.
Well, so the NFL came out with their rules, and then apparently that allowed the tiny stones of baseball to grow into then coming up with something public and putting it out there. I have been talking, and frankly, to the chagrin of some of my listeners, that the Royals are a team that I've heard there's some friction in the clubhouse, but that's not new, that there's friction in a lot of the clubhouses between the guys who are vaccinated and the guys who aren't, because if they can't get to the 85% threshold, then in baseball, the entire team has to stay in, right? And that's one of the things that's interesting about the NFL rules is if you travel, and the travel is not that big a deal, it's really one night in the NFL, but if you're playing the Dolphins, if you're a team like Kansas City and you're playing the Dolphins, or you're going to Dallas or wherever, Texas, California, Florida, the three big football factories, you're likely to have friends and family there that you like to go out and, have dinner with, which normally they would do. But if you're not vaccinated, you can't leave the team hotel. And football is letting the vaccinated players go do whatever they need to do. They have different dining hall. You're vaccinated. All vaccinated players can sit and eat lunch and everything like they normally would. If you're not vaccinated, for staff, coaches, support personnel, it's grab and go only from the dining hall. And if you're a player, no more than, I think it's 15 players. I know that's the weight room. No more than 15 players in the weight room if you're unvaccinated. If you're vaccinated, do whatever. Got to wear a mask, like all the protocols. And
the dining hall is like cool kids, not cool kids in the junior middle school or whatever, middle school cafeteria. Like you can't eat with others.
And baseball has now made it, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. If you're not, you do.
So now we essentially know everyone who's not fully vaccinated, right?
Yeah, and so a little more than a week ago, I don't know where the number is, but I heard there was one of the national stories, or at least it was being reported nationally, that it had come out from baseball that 20 of the 30 major league teams had reached the threshold. The Royals were not one of them. And I've been asking these questions because I've heard there is friction in the Royals clubhouse. Is that why they're lost 11 of 12? I don't know. It may or may not have contributed to it. I doubt it. Mostly they're just a team that's, a middle of the pack team right now that's going through the ups and downs that those teams do. But, I do know that I've been told by people close to the situation that there are guys that are pissed that they can't go out on the road. They're stuck cooped up in the hotel rooms like it's, day 10 of the pandemic because the other guys won't get vaccinated. And that's creating some friction. And
that would I was putting my hands up that it's only the guys not vaccinated who are paying, but no, it's the guys who are fully vaccinated who are paying.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, anyone watching right now, if that's your workplace and your life is more difficult because others are not cooperating, I'd be frustrated.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. And what I think is really interesting from the NFL standpoint. And from a political standpoint is, so the NFL came out with all these, Tom Pelissero brought the stuff out, and you can see it's an NFL document that eventually all of us on the NFL mailing list are going to get. But they're trial ballooning it, floating it out there. Now, this has been agreed upon, according to Pelissero, which I'm sure is 100% true, by both the NFLPA and the NFL. But they've clearly decided to trial balloon it because it hadn't gone out. At least I was at the walk fest that is 5th/6th grade girls softball tonight. So if I got something in my email tonight, I apologize. But when I got off the air at 6:00 tonight, I didn't have anything from the NFL. But yet Pelissero was tweeting this out. He works for NFL Network, so they leak everything through their own folks and putting it out there and going through all the protocols. And that's a great one because it shows what you can and can't do. And basically it shows you can do everything if you're vaccinated. You can't do anything without major restrictions if you're not.
How about on the road, may interact with vaccinated family friends during team travel. And if you're not vaccinated, may not leave team hotel to eat in restaurants, may not interact with anyone outside of team traveling party during team travel.
And my understanding is for baseball, it's everybody can't. If you're not at 85%, everybody can't. And so, and that's where baseball's now putting out their rules. And they're like, okay, we're going to shame the ones who aren't. And I keep asking Royals people. I had Dayton Moore on specifically about this subject and asked him about that. And, the Royals general manager, and he's like, hey, I'm vaccinated, but what do I have to lose at my age? I thought that was interesting. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, don't we all have something to lose? And then he's like, listen, it's everybody's choice. We've educated them about here's what's out there, and they have to make their decisions. He did say we've had a couple of more guys get vaccinated this week, but they're still not at that threshold. And so, I think it's a story. And what I think is a story is like, you can't, let's stop with the I'd do anything to win a championship. Like, no longer can you be in the whatever it takes, I'll do anything I can to win a championship if you won't get a vaccination.
So are you referencing Chris Paul?
I would put him in there now. Like, I think it's still, again, last I saw, it had not been determined whether or not you can be COVID positive after being vaccinated.
Right.
It doesn't keep you from getting it. It just means that you're not going to get really sick, which if that's the case with him and he's been vaccinated, this should be a very brief stint on the, on the quarantine
protocols.
And he should be back. And theoretically, based upon the fact that the Clippers and Jazz seems to be a dogfight, it's going to go at least 6, if not 7 games. And he could be back before that series starts, and it's going to be a non-issue. Although there are lingering effects, even for people that are athletic. I know I have friends that had COVID, and it's 9 months later, and they say they're still not back to 100%.
Cam Newton claims that it took him a while to come back. We saw Jason Tatum, then COVID, and then after a couple months, month and a half, he seemed to get back to normal.
So, I mean, I just think that, so we don't know. I mean, Chris Paul may have been vaccinated. I had it written down as a topic and crossed it off that when they clinched that game, he was hugging everybody and their brother in the arena and nobody was wearing a mask. Now, presumably, they'd all been tested and were negative and, it cleared all the protocols. The NBA's been pretty good about their protocols. But I was like, wow. And my note wasn't that like, oh, my God, this guy's going to get COVID. My note was, look how different this is from the bubble. Look how different this is from last year, where it was like everybody's got to stay away. And the NBA is still sitting spaced out and still wearing masks to the most part. As soon as they talk, they pull it down, which is dumb. But anyway, and I was like, holy cow. I mean, it's like a different era. Chris Paul's getting to celebrate, and, he's hugging this gal and hugging this guy. And like, what a great moment for him. And it's not normal, but it's pretty normal. That's great for him. And then he turns up COVID positive. And like, where did he catch it? I don't know. Is he going to be back that quick? I don't know. But I just think it's an interesting dynamic that, like, if you're like, you will lie about concussions to go play in games where you could have permanent brain damage, right? You'll take a knee injury and, limp out and play in those kind of things. But, you're not willing to go get vaccinations. And I'm sure Tate, is right on that one.
Reports out of Phoenix from your favorite radio guy there saying CP was vaccinated in February. I have what's that a reference to? Do you have some enemy in Phoenix?
I don't.
Or do you really have a favorite?
I don't know. Oh. I know people in Phoenix. Who is it, Tate?
What's Chuck's old partner, Vince? Is he still doing radio there? Is that who he's referencing? I don't know. Gambo. Are you a big Gambo fan?
I met Gambo once. I met him once.
Gambo.
All right, so if he's vaccinated in February, this should be a quick turnaround, right?
Yep.
But still.
Well, this brings us back. I think the more applicable case until we know if CP3 is vaccinated or not vaccinated is John Rahm. And this is where I go back to I was kind of being a smart ass, but not really, when I said, do we want to get into a political topic with vaccinations? Because there's clearly a political split. I think it's been politicized on taking the vaccine, not taking the vaccine. And I find myself on the air, like, I don't give a shit right now. I mean, I don't want to be that harsh, but about people who have chosen not to get the vaccine. I have no patience for whatever the excuse or the reasoning is. And when the John Rahm story came down, the golfer who was leading the tournament on Saturday night and he got pulled, we literally, like, it was mean. We literally came in and we're like, We just laughed. I mean, you got $1.6 million first prize on the line. And like he just said 3 days ago, he's like, it was kind of, out of sight, out of mind. I forgot about it. Like, what, are you stupid? And then there were a lot of people who were like, oh, this is terrible. I feel so bad.
I asked at OTAs, I think I said this last time we talked, Creed Humphreys, Josh Kando. Creed Humphreys is a second-round pick, the center from Oklahoma. Josh Kando is a defensive end from Florida State, was a fourth-round pick. I asked him, I said, have you been vaccinated? Creed Humphreys said, no, but I plan on it. Like, well, you're jumping right on it. And Kando said no. I'm like, okay. I mean, and I think that's part of where the league's at. Like, okay, you don't want to buy in, that's great, but and I think this is one where, Andy Reid said this week, he was asked point blank, how is he? He said, we're doing pretty good on it. He said, no, we're doing really well on it.
Yeah.
There are guys that getting things done.
Gruden said,
but we don't want to force anyone. It's their choice.
Right. Well, this will force people. I mean, part of the vaccine conversation we've been having the last couple of weeks on the show here in Vegas is, hey, come August, there's going to be some real problems. If teams aren't at 85% and now these rules, I didn't know these, we didn't know these rules were coming up. The travel stuff is kind of silly, but it's also, we'll see what the specifics are in the building. But to me, I mean, if you're vaccinated and you are in the meeting room with 7 other offensive linemen, and then I'm in somewhere in the goddamn building on video with 4 others, that's absurd. I mean, I'm not saying it's insurmountable, but there's little things like that. Like the team I'll point to is the Buffalo Bills, because they've been very vocal between Josh Allen coming out. I don't know if he got it, but he said he was nervous. Cole Beasley doubled down and was like taking people on, basically saying, F the vaccine, I'm not taking it. Jordan Poyer's wife has been super vocal about it. So I pray for the story benefit. I'm not rooting for people to get hurt or get COVID or get seriously injured. I think it'll be such a fascinating situation if you've got this team on the rise, on the verge of maybe overtaking
go 9-8.
Some of the superpowers, and because they've got 15 guys who are rallying around some dude and his wife and Cole Beasley, and that keeps them from operating normally, and then their season flops, guess what? Where's the Bull security guard? Too bad.
Well, I think in Kansas City, why things are going well is because Patrick Mahomes is on board and vaccinated.
Good.
Right? Who are the biggest leaders on your team? And they're going to lead the way. And I think, like, I'll come back to, like, I'll do whatever it takes to win a championship. Really? You mean take the same vaccination my 79-year-old mother took and didn't feel a thing and is now going about her life like it's nobody's business? Do you have the balls that a 79-year-old woman does? I don't know. And I mean, like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. I'm just saying, if it's something you don't want to do, but you're all in for a championship, right? Most of us go to work. It's not about, like, are you all in for this championship? It's a different mindset, right? It's a different approach. In some ways, it's juvenile. It's high school. It's all about the big game. In other ways, it's militaristic. Like, we're all coming together for something that's bigger than ourselves. It's neither juvenile nor militaristic, but it has elements of both and what's there. My point just is there are lots of people that have done it and are fine. Now, maybe there will be ramifications. I tend to think not, but maybe there will be ramifications. But I just don't get the mindset of fight through ligament problems and concussions and lie about your concussions, which we know guys do, to go out there and play the game. But, like, I'm not going to take a shot that billions of people have taken and are fine to this point.
So in the room, right? Because I don't want to shut down dissenting or differing opinions, because this is my whole thing in doing this on sports radio. Like, I'm going so hard at it that I can't constrain myself, hold back at times, because I think it's so dumb on the other side. But I don't want to insult people, because there could be like 40%. I mean, I don't know. Where are we in Vegas? Information expert, our content provider, Brady. Where are we totally in fully vaccinated people? Are we beyond like 53% yet? So, I mean, there's a chance, Petro, in the audience.
Well, half the audience doesn't like what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like 50-50. And, like, I feel so strongly about it. And, like, what you just said, I'm like, when we were on this road trip over the weekend, we're talking to a friend. And, like, I started in, I was like, you're vaccinated, right? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay. And I just stopped because I was like, I have a lot to say, but I'm not going to get into a fight here over this.
Yeah,
But and I know there are people in the audience who are like, these assholes. It's my right. I don't want to take it. And I keep pounding like workplace, 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 workplace. You either do it or you don't get to work. I admit it's a very inflexible attitude, and I don't want to be like that. But man, I don't get it.
And I think what's going to be interesting is the NFL and the NBA or all sports leagues have a collective bargaining agreement with their union. So, they have to get the union to sign on. The NFL union, the NFLPA, has signed on to a lot. Like, yes, we're going to allow our members to be ostracized from the dining facility. We're going to allow them to have to wear the mask. We're going to allow that they can't leave the hotel. They will agree to not leave the hotel, or they will be fined and suspended. Right? Their representation has said that's the case, which means that more of their members are on board with that than not. And so I think that's interesting. But I'll go a step further, because I think the social element of it, I do get hey, it's America, good or bad, right or wrong, no matter how many people may die. This is, you get to choose whatever you want, whenever you want. That's great. Freedom of speech, right? And like I've always said, when somebody's like, I can't believe they cut that guy for what he said. I thought this was America and we had First Amendment rights. You need to read the First Amendment, okay, before you quote something that you don't know what it says. It basically says that you can't be jailed, okay? It doesn't say you have a right to say whatever you want and your employer can't fire you. You can't be deported and you can't be jailed. But it doesn't mean you have unending employment for as long as you want wherever you choose, right? You just you're fired. The good news is we're not sending you to another country and we're not going to put you in prison. But you are fired and now unemployed, right? That's still America. Say what you want. Fight the fight. Do what you need to do. Many people in this country have been fired or worse, beaten, ostracized in numerous ways, standing up for what they believe in. If this is what you believe in, then this is America. Fight that fight. It doesn't mean, though, that you get to continue to be employed. And likewise, it's no different. Like if you're an employer and you're like, listen, like I brought up, because I think the media side is interesting because the players aren't being cut, right? They just have certain things they have to do. But to cover the team, you again have press box, field, and locker room access as long as you're vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, you're out. So if you're a beat guy working for ESPN and the guy at The Athletic and CBS and the local newspaper and all the different websites, they're all vaccinated and you're not, and you can't get to the press box, the field, and the locker room, can you really do your job? And if your employer says, listen, you got to get in there and we don't have these sound bites. We don't have these cuts. Your stories don't have these actualities. You're not breaking any stories anymore. You don't have any connections. Like, we're firing you. Like, you can't fire me. I don't have those because of my religious belief or my medical beliefs or whatever it is. No, that's actually wrong. They can fire you. There is a way to do your job. You've chosen not to do it. Congratulations. You will not be deported or jailed, but you're not working here anymore. And they're putting that like indirectly, that pressure, because they're trying to protect their players who they can't force to take it, but they're doing everything they can to make them take it. Indirectly, people that are on a much lower pay scale are being pressured at least, to take it. If they don't want to take it, they could very well lose their job.
So it's part of the story around the NFL that if you are a bubble player or a practice squad player, like,
yeah, listen,
the jig is up now. You got to get vaccinated, or you're on the chopping block, which sucks. But
there are 5 guys that are super difference makers on every team, right? No one's messing with them.
Right.
There's another 10 guys that we really want to have these guys. There's probably 20 guys that you're like, okay, they're pretty damn good. They're going to do it. They're going to get it done. Right? There are 18 guys that are the same as the next 50 guys that are selling insurance or working out at the local high school hoping to get the call.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's bullshit if you think there are 53 people that are exceptional. They're not.
How about this, though?
There's 15 or 20.
What if 8, 10?
So my point is, if you're on that fringe, to finish your thought, if you're a Jag and you're a special teamer and you're all that, you can easily be replaced by a guy who's been vaccinated. That makes it all work easier.
Yep. What if 8 to 10 starting quarterbacks got together and they're like, you know what? We're not comfortable with this. Let's see what the league does. 10 quarterbacks, a third of the league, right? Let's start with Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Lamar Jackson, and Zach Wilson today or yesterday said they're not comfortable indicating if they are or not vaccinated. We'll say Josh Allen. That's 4 right there. What if another 4 went public? Another 5 or 6 starting quarterbacks went public. What does the league do?
Well, I'll come back to what's happening here in Kansas City, and the fact that Patrick Mahomes has been vaccinated makes that a tough sell, right? When the best of the best, like Aaron Rodgers is holding out. If Mahomes and then the reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers, is like, yeah, we're vaccinated. Do it in a State Farm commercial. It gets really tough for the fan bases to be like, we're going to give this guy a pass.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, too. I didn't see that. Is that right? He might not be. Interesting. Here we go. Tim Tebow's path is clear, baby.
So if that's the case, and then you come up positive and you're out 10 days and your team loses 2 games during that span, where are you as a fan? Are you like, no, I'm okay with my team losing? Because it's about choice.
Honestly, I don't want to have to cut the number 2 pick in the draft, but if this goes on and on with Zach Wilson, I'm livid.
But there are many people that would support it.
Well, that's fine.
Said, maybe
you want to be the CEO of a franchise? Do what you're supposed to do.
I mean, like being a part of a team. That's what I'm with you, Steve. I'm saying, listen.
I know
we had some texts come in to our midday show, Jason Anderson in the Zone, and one guy's like, "Is this why I served in the military? I thought I served so people had a freedom to choose." And followed right up by a guy who's like, well, I am serving, and I did not have a choice. As a United States Marine, I had to take the vaccine.
I had to take and before this, I had to take every damn shot that they told me I had to take.
Yep.
So maybe your military experience was different than the other guy. You know, I can talk to the many members of my family. And you know what? Here's the thing. Maybe they would stand up and go, God damn it, I was forced to take vaccines, and I don't want to take them. I like what's happening now. So
yeah, I love when the general population quotes the military until they realize that the military does a lot of shit they don't want to do. Right? They're like, you know, like get up.
How do you not realize
4:30? Yeah. You know, run towards the bullets. Yep. You know, like there's a lot of things like, yeah, like you better be careful about aligning yourself with the military because the sacrifices they make are immense. And the ones you're being asked to make are tiny. Yeah. I think it's a fascinating time. Yeah. I'm not glad for the pandemic, but you know.
And here's the thing:
covering sports on this has been amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. And here's the thing: in a way, I'm being hypocritical because I like to go against the grain. I like, you know, counterculture, anti-establishment. I don't know. This is just one I'm not buying into. I guess I've been brainwashed. So throughout my life, I guess if it was my parents or doctors or whoever else, you know, they say, hey, you got to take this. This is going to help you. This is going to keep you from getting sick. I take it. So just like you were mentioning with your mom, I went there willingly. I got the needles. I didn't feel it. I thought it was the easiest thing ever, and I didn't worry about it for a second. But I guess
I did my physical, and they told me now I'm old enough that they do blood work every time, right? Like to make sure you're not about ready to die. Shockingly, I'm in good health, right? Like literally the guy's like, I can't believe this shit. Like this is unreal. But I've always told them, and they tested me this time, that I've never had chicken pox. So I was given a chicken pox vaccination.
Really?
Like, well, you know, they say if you haven't had it, and then because then you're eligible, then you're more, you know, the shingles thing kicks in for people that have had chicken pox, and then there's a shingles vaccine. I'm like, so what? And he's going on about this vaccine. I'm like, listen, what are you telling me I need? Like, are you telling me to take the shingles vaccine, or are you telling me to take the chicken pox vaccines? Well, you haven't had chicken pox. I'm like, I want to be like, yeah, I know. Like, my point is I'm not following you, right? You're doing a shitty layout. But the bottom line is I'm coming here. I'm paying a lot of money for health insurance, and I'm expecting your ass to be right. So what are you telling me?
Right.
Like, are you? Well, I'm like, if it's you, what are you gonna do? He's like, well, I'm getting the vaccine for chickenpox because it can be a problem and you can end up in pneumonia in the hospital and all that. I'm like, okay, let's go. So you'll take it right now? I said, yeah, let's go. So I took another vaccine for the chickenpox, right? And if the medical community's wrong, like, then I'll deal with what I got to do. But Jesus, I mean, like when I drove to Colorado and I'm on a mountain, I'm going downhill on a mountain at 65 miles an hour, and it says 55. I can't see around the corner, right? Looks to me like maybe 20 would be a good pace because I can't see around the corner. Right. And I'm on a steep slope on a mountain where it looks like I could go off a cliff. But I didn't slow down to 20 and peek around the corner. I trusted that the engineers and the road builders are like, no, 55's good. And not only that, I figured bullshit. I took it to like 62 because if they say 55, I can do it faster. I don't understand how you can have that kind of faith where you can't see around a mountain. Like, I didn't see anybody slowing down to 5 miles an hour to peek around the mountain. Yet the medical community says, this is what we got to do. I mean, like, if you see it a different way, I respect your opinion, but that's how I see it. Like, these guys, they were trained to build a road to go around a mountain, and they hang 55 up there. I trust that if I'm near 55, I'm good. I'll take that corner going downhill on a mountain with the Rockies looming over the edge. Likewise,
the Syren, Polish for sheep. First of all, I think Syren's of Russian origin. Just trusting the government on everything. Okay, yeah, that's Syren, sheep. I have to go on a tangent here for a second. I want you to be honest. You and I are defensive drivers through offense. That's the way I look at the way I drive.
I am aggressive to back you off to not make a stupid move. Yes, I think it's an accurate.
I am on offense, but it's really defense because I'm avoiding everyone else, many other people on the road who suck. Are you?
What does that have to do with anything we're talking
because
about?
You mentioned driving around the corner at 50 miles an hour and driving to Colorado, and I was just thinking of my ride back and forth to Southern California, and I've gotten crazier and more manic about driving than I ever was. The SO, my significant other, when we weren't talking about something else, I subjected her to basically play-by-play and analyzing everything that was going on the road for 5 hours. She has now nicknamed me the regulator. So every once in a while, she'll just yell out, regulators. I've lost my mind.
And do you turn around and yell, mount up?
Right. Yes. That's what she finishes up by saying, mount up. I've lost my mind in terms of because what happens is the 15. This is amazing. The 15's improved a little bit since you lived here some 20 years ago. That's the road that goes, up south north all the way up into Utah, all the way down, through Nevada and into Southern California. But there's a good portion of it still that's just 2 lanes, and there's a lot of trucks. So basically, it turns into the trucks are in the right lane, but then they pass every once in a while, and then it's just in and out with the cars, right? Trying to get a little headway. It's maddening. And I sit there and I'm just like, they're going to do this. Watch what they do here. And then the funny thing is, I go a couple hundred miles, right? And I'm going in and out a little bit. I usually because you're not moving. The funny thing is, I know all the cars that are around me. Like, I can memorize different cars that are around me, and I know the ones who are aggressive. And 2.5 hours into the ride, I'll be like, they didn't get anywhere. We're just going back and forth, and they're not making any progress. And I wonder how many other people drive like that, where they're tracking the other fucking cars, what they're doing and who they are. I got home and I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Well, I'm there, right? When I get off and then I'm passing the same morons, I'm like, oh, look, here's this jackass again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I am with you. And I don't know what it is. I think it's for me, it's like I try to do things the right way. And I should just accept that I do things the right way, and that's good enough so no one can bitch at me. But in reality, I do them the right way, and I'm disappointed by the rest of humanity's ability to even come close to attempting to do things the right way. Right? Like slower traffic, keep right. Like I don't get that shit. I don't. And like when I was young, this is embarrassing and it's stupid, but like I would pass people on the right, get in front of them, and then slow way down on the left. Like I wouldn't do the power brake right in front of them and try to, get them to run off, but I would slow down. Now for the most part, I just go on about my day, but like I really would. I'd go around the right, get in front, and then I'd slow way down, and they'd be like, "Oh, what the hell? What's going on here? What is this shit?" And just make them move to the right. And I'm like, "Yeah, now you fucking get it, asshole."
Right.
Like what? Like slower traffic, move right. Like there's
Right.
a million signs, you piece of shit.
Right.
But so now I'm just like, I don't even look, because if I look and I get the look, then I'm pissed. Like, oh, you want to? I'm getting a look. I'm just like, I'm just gonna power by you on the right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing I will do if I'm going on a road trip. 8 cylinders plus, maybe. Like I am not headed out on the road.
Yeah.
There was a point in my life where I'm like, because like when I had smaller cars for a little bit in my life, right? And I know they're gas guzzlers now, but you get to a point in your life, hopefully you can afford it and you do it. But I'm like, when I start to go around them and they can beat me, bullshit. So we're throwing down, the Corvette motor in the big SUV, and we're blowing their asses off the road. We're going by. I don't stop in front of them, but I'm going around your ass. Enough of this shit.
Does Cofield get in the left lane next to a semi to block someone driving like an asshole? You know what? I don't anymore. I generally will let them pass. And here's the thing. This is what I find on the drive back and forth.
If anyone wants to pass me, I'm like, go.
No,
You're one of the few people going faster than me. Yeah. So go run the tickets. Yeah. Please go in front of me.
You be the rabbit. But because here's the thing. The people who do that are so inconsistent in their driving. The one thing I know I'm doing that most people aren't, when we're going uphill, that's when I'm flying. Like I'm going by you. Like that's because cops, listen, whatever. I might get 15 tickets going uphill. I don't think they're tracking people going uphill.
No, they're usually getting you when you crest. When you come over the crest, and you got to be careful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm destroying my goddamn car that I'm driving, but that's why I get decent engines in the car, like Petro. Like, when it's hill time and that's a hilly ride, like I know you're going to be a douchebag because you're not really paying attention, and you're going to be down to 75, and I'm blowing by you. So go ahead, and it's also the people who are doing that are dangerous, like who are racing up and then going in, and I'm like, I'm not going to let you clip me, so I'm just going to back off. So, yeah. But I do know, man, there's like this constant computer, and I'm like, I think I'm a sicko.
If you come up behind me and I'm in the left lane, I'll get over and let you go. Go for it.
Because ultimately, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? God, I'm nuts on this. I've never seen anything like this before. Between, I'm going to say Barstow and Baker, these are two like remote towns between LA and Vegas for Kansas and Missouri people. There was a guy.
Put up Kirk's last.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Kirk's the guy who's like, he's driving at a nice pace.
That is literally him.
It is. I like to see America. I saw there was a truck carrying a wide load trailed by a car, and this guy is going in and out of traffic.
The wide load guy?
Yes. Like 3 lanes, pulling to the left, blocking because the trucks are going too slow for him, blocking the two of the middle and the left lane because it's so goddamn wide. I'm like, I've never seen this before. Now that on the drive-by, that got a honk. That was my top play-by-play.
Yeah.
Where my girlfriend was like, okay, I get this.
I like to, okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I like to I don't mess with the trucks, right? I try to let them go.
Oh, because they can't see. They can't see.
Those things are really
hard to drive. They're dangerous. Those guys are tired. Don't be C-bombs driving around those people.
When I'm behind them and they get clear and they keep going and they haven't moved over, I wait. And then I'm like, I'm just going to do the peek out there. So I'm like getting antsy to go around on the right. If I look up there and I'm like, well, shit, there's half a mile, then I'm going on by you. Right? A couple of years ago, some truck decided, oh, no, screw you. You got to sit behind me. He started pulling to the right and put me on the shoulder. Dumbass had one of those, how's my driving? Call this number.
Yeah.
I called the number and I'm like, okay, let me tell you, I'm right behind the guy. Right. Like, you go ahead. Like, and I will know you've done something. I said, I'm calling the highway patrol unless he flashes his lights, right? I want his cautions to come on. And I waited, and after like 2 minutes, his cautions come on. Like, yeah, we told him he's gonna pull out. I'm like, okay, good. You actually gave a shit. Because like for the most part, I always give trucks a wide berth, right? Like you're working one, you're not on a pleasure cruise, and it's a a big vehicle. It's hard to control.
Brady, with Cofield, would you pay $1,500 upgrade on the car to have a message board installed that you could type? No, I don't want to type. What I need is electrodes that can read my thoughts and like have that connected to Waze and just post messages throughout. Like, watch out for this white car. Do
you like that app? Does that work?
It's a little better than like Google Maps.
So my radar detector got us to Colorado. I bought it, I think, in college, at least when I lived in Vegas. Like, it might have driven us to the Super Bowl, like back in San Diego, like Broncos-Packers Super Bowl we're talking about. Oh, yeah. And it finally, I unplugged it, I think, for the first time in like 20 years. And like for the plug to the unit, not the cigarette lighter, thing it had. And it shit the bed. It wouldn't go on the way back. And that was crushing. You know what the first thing was when I got home I bought a new one.
You love those things.
Oh, I want the extra protection. Gotta have it.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
That's awesome. Yeah, so fun trip. How was your Colorado trip?
It was really good. Kids had a great time zip lining. We went whitewater rafting. Did a little railroad deal. Went to the Royal Gorge. It's 2 hours away from the Breckenridge Keystone area where we were staying. But, kids didn't like the drive, but watching their dad get kind of panicked on the world's largest suspension bridge that has wood planks that you can see through 1,000 feet down and sways in the wind. And I was like, yeah, that's it. We got to go. We're jetting across.
Right.
So me and my oldest daughter jetted across while my wife almost fell down laughing, pissing her pants. My youngest daughter and my wife laughing their asses off at me going like, let's go. And I booked it across the thing. I didn't mind the gondola across. They actually have a zip line across it, 1,000 feet in the air. God. I didn't do that. I didn't mind the gondola. The gondola was fine, but like walking across the bridge when it's swaying in the wind, I was like, nah, bullshit. We're going. Let's go.
Yeah. Seren isn't a suspension bridge type of guy.
No, I'm not. I'll tell you what, when I was fine looking down and seeing rocks. When I got out far enough that I was seeing river and railroad track 1,000 miles down, and it literally, you feel it swaying, and you can look down through the slats. Like, I don't like that glass floor shit at all the places in Vegas. Like, that scares me.
How about the big deck that goes over the Grand Canyon? They built a big observation deck.
Yeah. No, I haven't done that. So I don't know. But like what was it? The Ghost Bar? I don't know what it's called now.
It was Ghost Bar back in the day.
Yeah. And so I'm not stepping out on that. And so I get out on that thing and it's like I can see down through the slats. No, I'm out.
All right. So what's coming up? You and I have gone back and forth about what traveling is like the rest of the summer, what the prices are like. You talked about your Pensacola trip a million times, and the flights.
I have not talked about it a million times.
Well, we brought it up about how ridiculous the prices were.
Oh yeah, so $725. I checked the flight, $725 round trip. My fat ass will be driving again to Florida.
All right.
So this is what I want to say to you. So yes, we are. My wife's family is gathering in, I think it's called Perdido Key, Florida, which is by Pensacola. It's glorified Pensacola, right? And it was supposed to happen last year. We pushed it off to a year, and I have $340 ahead, times 4 in credits. They want $720 some odd dollars. And I'm like, I am not giving you $380 to get my $340. That makes no sense. Charge me $520 and I'll fly. Right? Okay, $180 to get my $340's worth. Fine. Otherwise, no. You've already shit my $340 away. Like, I'm not giving you more than that. So I will not be flying. We're going to drive down there. But here's my thought. Like, so we were all looking at, as you know, Steve, we do fantasy football in Vegas at the end of the summer. So all of us in KC, and there's guys in San Diego and where? Seattle? Or no, Seattle doesn't come down for football. San Diego and KC coming to Vegas, right? Is that it? Is that all the locations? Baltimore also.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it, and I'm like, dude, the flights they're outrageous, right? We usually pay somewhere between $220 and $340, and I think I saw 6 something. But then the hotel rooms.
Yep.
Tell me what's going on with the hotel rooms, because now I haven't called my casino host, for my whatever rating I have, where I get a mild discount, right? I'm no big player, but I'm enough that they're like, well, this guy will at least shit away $1,000 or $2,000, right? Like, so let's go get this guy. And so I haven't done that, but like the hotel rooms are significantly more. Here's my thought. Till Vegas wakes up and goes back to recognizing that they have 1 million hotel rooms and there's no ocean or mountains or anything else to do. Like, am I just an old fart when I'm like, I can drink anywhere? I don't have to go to Vegas to get a drink. I can drink. It's 20 feet from me right now. Well, I'm like, I looked at a trip to Mexico. It's less to go to Mexico for me right now than it is Vegas. I'm like, you know what? So I asked this from a guy who lives in Vegas, and Vegas is tourism based. Yeah. Like, my proposition I'm going to make to the fantasy league is no more Vegas. Let's go New Orleans. Let's go Mexico. Let's go Tahoe. Let's pick some spots. Because if Vegas is going to be part of the Vegas appeal to me has always been, it's been a cheap trip. Now, you want to crap away $1,000 in drinks and $5,000 in gambling, that's your thing. But just to get in and get out, it was cheap. They're wanting a boatload. I'm like, dude, no, let's pick some spots and let's go someplace else, because they got internet in Mexico.
I like Tucumcari as a suggestion in New Mexico.
I've been there.
Yeah.
That's where the Southwest 2-lane road from KC, it's actually out of Wichita. You go down to Wichita, and then Tucumcari route is a 2-lane road, cuts through the panhandle of Oklahoma, and meets up with 40 going west. Tucumcari, New Mexico, man. You go by some like stank ass slaughterhouses. I think it's in Oklahoma. Oh yeah. But it cuts the trip, as opposed to doing 35 and 40. It's cuts it at an angle.
Trying to think.
No, but seriously, what do you think as a Vegas resident when I'm saying, like, we have always done fantasy football at the end of the summer in Vegas, and I'm like, I don't see it. Like, if this is because here's my fear, and during the mortgage crisis, everyone started hitting us with fuel charges. Remember, gas was like $5.50 a gallon. Every company that hit me with a fuel charge never took it away. My fear is this is the new rate. And everybody's like, I don't give a shit what it costs. I'm going. I'm going to travel. I've been cooped up. I'm going. And then they're like, oh, that's what it costs. Like, maybe this is where, like, the old guy bah humbug comes in. And I will totally listen to, you're a jackass. This is how it is. Inflation doesn't go like this. It goes, okay. Well, like, I'm like, well, bullshit. Let's see some new towns. How about Cabo? How about Tahoe? How about, like, I'll give you some spots in Lake Michigan. Like, I don't need to spend that kind of money to go to a room looking at an air conditioning unit in Vegas, pay $50 a day for internet and a paper and the gym on the stupid, what is it, user's fee, or what do they call that bullshit? What's that stupid fee? Like, whatever you see is not even what you pay, because they hit you for $50 a day for the what's it called?
Resort fee.
Resort fee. Yeah. Like, I've hated the resort fee since it came around. I bitched back when it was $10.
Yep.
Refused to pay it. Back in the day, like all that bullshit. Like,
by the way, San Diego, we got hit with a destination charge, so now we're using auto dealer terms. Delivery charge.
Let's go. Like, listen. you can get to the Caribbean. You can get to Mexico. When I can go to those places and have ocean, like, okay.
This is a good point, Saran. We do have a stadium to pay for. We put up $750 million.
Brady, I get it. If that were new,
right?
Fine.
No, come on. You know what's going on here. This will normalize because right now we have 155,000 rooms. We're adding more, right? Resorts World's opening up here in 8 days, so that's going to add thousands of more rooms.
Where the hell is that? Where's that?
The old Stardust site. They finally finished it.
Oh shit! The one that's been installed forever.
Yep, it's another mega resort with thousands and thousands of rooms. No, this is. I mean, I think we're seeing this all across the travel industry. Everyone's coming out of the pandemic and we're getting our money back. Like everyone is we are going to gouge the F out of people until they don't accept it, and then the prices will go back to normal. But I think Vegas, the rest of the year is just we're going to be animals here. We are going to crush people until they don't come.
Let me know when you want to come to KC because I ain't coming to Vegas.
There is, listen, the corporate, most of the corporate types now in Vegas, there is no long-term vision. It's quarter to quarter, and we're going to make as much money this quarter and next quarter as we can. So we're going to crush people.
Which I get it. And if people will pay it, that's capitalism, right? Supply and demand. I'm just not going to pay it.
Yeah. And so trips that I have coming up, I finally found good flights. But can I tell you the one thing I can't get around? The goddamn rental cars.
Oh, it's awful.
It's unbelievable.
Because they all sold all their cars.
Yep.
And now because the factory, not even the auto factories that were shut down, but the chip tracking device got shut down. So the cars are ready for the chips to be put in them, but they don't have enough chips to put in them.
Oh my God.
Is my understanding. And so they're not, they can't build the cars fast enough. Because, the rental car business went, oh my God, there's a pandemic. They'll never rent a car again. Sell all our assets.
Yep.
Or it's our bottom line is such dog shit that we can't wait 2 months. Sell anything that's not nailed down. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
The government didn't go out and bail out the rental cars,
right? And then they turn around and use the bailout money for their big wigs and stock buybacks. Yeah. So I finally found a couple of good flights for trips. But it's a rental car. I'm still trying.
Where are you going?
Believe it or not, we're actually taking a vacation to the Jersey Shore. But my parents live.
It's not even a vacation.
Yeah, my parents
family.
Yeah, you know what though? We're gonna go up and down the Jersey Shore.
Oh man, it's beautiful this time.
And then it is nice in the summer. A lot of Goombas, or as we call them in New Jersey, Bennies. The folks from northern New Jersey coming down. But we're gonna my girlfriend's never been in New York City, so we're going there for a day. But we're going to New Orleans like we do every year in October, so we just got good flights there. And I would like to do a decent big trip at the end of July, but Big Adam Hill is already booked for a Cancun trip. But my God, Mexico is the Vegas you were just talking about, because I know.
Is it expensive?
Who said it earlier that Cabo was dirt cheap? At the end of July, Cancun is actually cheaper than Cabo, which is nuts. But to your point on the flights, saw flights yesterday to Cancun for slightly under $400 round trip to Cancun.
From Vegas.
Those
are probably direct too, right?
It's JetBlue.
Okay.
But here's the other thing, finding flights that are nonstop. Oh boy. Like for me to fly to the East Coast, it was 12 and a half hours. I'm like, what is going on? Where are the direct flights anymore, you pricks?
We're building a new airport here in KC, but Southwest has already unleashed for the first time direct flights from KC to Cancun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I want to go to Cabo. I've done the Playa del Carmen Cancun thing.
Yeah.
And Cozumel. I would like to do the West Coast side.
Yeah. Cabo's different. It's cool.
All right, that's where the next fantasy football is.
I would do it.
Or fantasy baseball. If you want to come, like Zoom exists.
I would do it. And there's no swimming in the ocean.
Really? Why not?
Too treacherous along the coast. That's what we're told.
Treacherous in what way?
I don't know. Too rocky, too dangerous. They don't let anyone go in the water. I guess people just die left and right, unless you're in whatever it is, Cabo proper. There is that Cabo San Lucas. Then they've got a little bay there, and you can go in the water there.
I mean, I'm not really down for. I mean, I'll get in the water. Like, go to Hawaii. Like, that's good. Yeah.
Kirk is out. He needs an ocean, and he needs he needs it to be treacherous. What's not true? The Cabo part? Was I being lied to at my resort? You can go in the Cabo. Okay, maybe you can. I don't know. Every time I've gone there, all 2 times.
I'm a strong swimmer, Steve.
Yeah, I'm not.
Really?
Not strong. If they tell me that the freaking ocean is dangerous, I ain't that strong. I ain't that strong a swimmer.
Okay. Thanks
so Brady says you can go in, but not too far out. Then they start yelling. Okay, well, why? Why? Then I'm kind of right. All right. The RDK with X and numbers says, yep, you can swim. All right.
First of all, I don't go on vacation looking to take a half-mile swim. Okay? Like, I'll stand, like, can I wade out and stand in the water or no?
We've talked about my thriftiness. If I'm paying for all-inclusive, then by noon, I'm not sober enough to swim. I'm in a pool.
Like, is there actually...
Last time I lost control of what I was drinking, and
you threw up. Or you shit yourself.
I did a slew. I'm trying to think of the order. I did a slew of mudslides, and I chased them with a bigger slew of micheladas.
Sure.
And,
yeah.
It's
like breakfast. It's a great breakfast drink.
I can eat anything and drink anything. Not that combination.
So like my experience with the all-inclusive is like everything's kind of like like the whole resort is well drinks. And I don't just mean the drinks, I mean like every amenity is like, oh, this is the well version of it. Am I wrong? Oh, we got these restaurants on house. Oh yeah, pasta. Would have been nice if you actually took the water out of the pasta. We got an Italian restaurant. Yeah, it's like the noodles are floating in water.
You gotta pay. There's all levels. No, there's all different levels of all inclusive. If you pay, if you find a good deal, but you got to look for the places that have the highest ratings. The place that we went to, back-to-back cases, had like 6 restaurants. The food was good. No, the drinks were good. There was real alcohol. It wasn't all well shit. No, not at all.
Well, for a fantasy football trip, if it's just the guys, that'll do just fine.
Speak for yourself.
Oh no, you need better. You're selling the bit, and then you're like, yeah, not good enough for me though.
No, I want good food. I'm not going somewhere where it's like dog food. That's certainly has to be good food, so it's worth the extra money.
So are you in for someplace other than Vegas for football?
I'm 100% in, yeah.
All right, good. Let's do it.
I mean, I'm not this year because I already booked up this trip to the Jersey Shore right up until when you guys.
We'll be zooming it.
No, I would destination as long as it's reasonable, and I know we have enough cheap asses, or they have wives who aren't going to let them go somewhere that you're not going to go crazy on the price of the trip. Right. Right. Here's the Nobu Cabo experience. And we're not like,
no, that's not happening.
Like we'll lose half the league on that one.
Not happening.
I am down for Henderson and Summerlin. So there you go. There's a distance. There's a trip.
Yeah.
I'll ask you for the baseball league. I think you want to kick about 6 of us out.
That's right.
Is this an effort to get rid of those 6 by making it a destination baseball draft?
No, it's not. It's like I don't want to kick 6 people out. They're just like about 6 people. I'm tired of their shit. So I'm just not going to make an effort.
The league has 11 or 12.
I know. Yeah. So
I'm out.
it's like there's a level of like, there's just a level of like I've reached the passive aggressives and the dramas and the, I'm like I'm too old. I'm too tired. Like it just doesn't matter enough to me to like deal with the bullshit anymore. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It does, but again, I will use the word nuanced. It's a very nuanced situation with these baseball leagues. So
I laid it out there, and one of the people like I was talking about was too inebriated to even comprehend what I was saying.
Which I think he may have been driven to drink even more than he normally does. I actually felt a little bad for him.
Well,
I think he was trying to medicate to avoid the annihilation. Because he was getting annihilated and then got hammered. Would you like to name drop any of the 6? Would anyone know the 6?
No. No, we talking riddles.
No one. Okay, one of the guys on the radio.
People know some of the people. No, there are lots of radio people around the country.
But it's not if you just say
not lots of them, some of them. But we're not doing
you
it.
List me as a giant pain in the ass. I am at times.
But you're a thorn, right? Like we have like dams, right? You're just an annoying asshole. Playing your little soundbite bullshit, bidding on every closer, like
Apparently, I got guilted out of doing that because I have one of my teams has no saves. So thanks, guys.
The other one is winning saves by 70. So
that is kind of amazing.
Listen, it's not amazing. It's typical. You usually lose your ass because all you have are saves.
I'm going to make a trade, a difference-making trade very soon. It's all coming together. So, all right. Good return. Thank you, Petra. I appreciate you being in tonight. We'll wrap. Thanks for all the comments. This is one of the best nights we've had for comments. And for the Vegas audience, we're back tomorrow at Silver Sevens. No 77-cent beers because there's no Golden Knights game. So you'll have to pay $2.77 during happy hour for your drinks. Have to. You really got to open the wallet. But come down and say
I'd come out there if I didn't have to pay $500 a night for a room.
Right. Well, you can say it. I highly recommend Silver Sevens. It won't be $500 a night.
I have to look into it.
Friday show is at my house. Yeah.
Really? So is everyone invited?
Yes, I will set up. We'll do it outside. Everyone in Vegas, you want to watch a show outside right now? How's that going to go?
17.
Just everyone sitting in my tiny pool while we sit there and sweat at a broadcast.
It's 101 here tomorrow.
Oh my God!
And we have some humidity.
That's
as well.
Billion times worse than 115 here.
Yeah.
You poor bastards.
Yeah.
Holy
and Friday, I think Thursday, Friday, 101.
Yep. Sick shit. I want to blame it on something, but I don't know. I won't.
Okay.
I'm not going to full LeBron or full Tyler Glass now. Those guys.
I just know the earth is flat.
No.
Kyrie Irving told me so.